Shantanu Sen, the simple question though is, where does the buck stop? You see, the point, we can disagree, agree on various issues, but the buck must stop with the Chief Minister and the Home Minister of the state or not. Law and order is a state subject or not. Why is it? Why is it? Why not acknowledge it? Why not acknowledge there's a problem?
Exactly.
Let me tell you, Mr. Ranajit, TMC wanted to have free and fair political election democratically. But if the opposition parties get united to take the path of unrest, if they start taking law and order in their own hand, if they start taking the path of hooliganism and violence, how can you help it out?
Okay.
They were in a mood. That's why the BJP leaders prior to election, they were roaming around here and there, and they are instigating their political cadres to take the path of violence. Take
okay, you made that point.
Yeah, just the pond, throw it in the pond.
I need to come in.
By the BJP leaders before the election.
Ranajit, this is not fair. Can I please respond?
No, 1 minute, ma'am. You know, you have to learn an art of patience. We are listening to everyone.
Oh my God, please.
No, 1 minute. 1 minute, ma'am.
This is a debate.
No, the debate, this is not a noisy debate where you shout over each other. So I will
who
give
says
you...
this is a noisy debate?
I will give you 1 minute.
I need to come in.
I will give you 1 minute uninterrupted. Just a minute.
You
must listen to the question. 1 minute uninterrupted on the basic question that is being made by a number of people now, that your MOS home was in his home district and he is accused of some of the worst violence took place there under his watch. So while we blame Mamata Banerjee at the Bengal level, what was the MOS home doing? Questions are being raised. Why were central forces not sent earlier? Why only on the last day?
May I come in now?
Yeah, please, 1 minute without interruption, exactly 60 seconds, your time starts now.
Okay. So let me tell you that it was on the 13th of June 2023 that the Kolkata High Court said central paramilitary forces need to be deployed in West Bengal because West Bengal under Mamata Banerjee is not competent to hold free and fair elections. And the West Bengal government and the West Bengal State Election Commission and the West Bengal Chief Secretary, who owes his allegiance to Mamata Banerjee, they went and asked the High Court to quash it. The High Court refused. Then Mamata Banerjee went and knocked on the doors of the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court on 20th June 2023 said, we uphold the Kolkata High Court judgment, central paramilitary forces need to be deployed. Till 26th June 2023, there was a back and forth. Mamata Banerjee and the state dispensation kept knocking on the doors of the Supreme Court. So the onus of not having the central paramilitary forces deployed well in time lays fair and square on the shoulders of an incompetent Mamata Banerjee. Point number one. Very quickly, point number two.
30 seconds left.
Just one more state in India. Ranajit, I tell you very politely, just name one more state in India where the Union MOS is not allowed to cast his ballot and even visit the requisite constituency. Nishit Pramanik was not allowed to visit his village in Cooch Behar, and Subhendu Adhikari was not allowed to visit the State Election Commission headquarters. He had to plead and request. It was then that he was allowed. That is why I say Mamata Banerjee व्यस्त है और यहाँ पर बंगाल में सब कुछ तहस नहस है. She is like the proverbial male.
Your time, your 1 minute is up. I said I would give you. I gave you 1 minute uninterrupted. I've given.
Rome was burning.
Okay. Because Ranajit is in the studio, he gets the last word. Ranajit, do you accept that every state has a political culture, and the fact is the culture of Bengal is violence? You know, that is the tragedy of Bengal, and it's not as if it started when Mamata Banerjee took over in 2011. It's not about whataboutery, but the truth is that no party today is fully absolved from violence. Everyone is using violence and intimidation in their own way to get the voters on their side. Yes or no?
I feel 2023 was the opportunity to break that cycle in Bengal. It was a huge opportunity. And unfortunately, the ruling party, very partisan administration, is the result, is the reason for what we are seeing today. The results that you're talking about today, that is that the CM is the #1 Neta. Fact is that we are talking of an election day where, I mean, there's been violence in practically every booth. We're talking about counting day, where we have videos of counting agents, the counting agents being thrown out. You know, the ballot papers being burnt. You know, what results are we talking about where ballot papers have been burned, ballot boxes have been pushed aside? But yet, I will point out a glimmer of I don't know what to say, a glimmer of hope or ray or whatever you call it for democracy here, in the sense that even in spite of this, I know that the figures look small for Congress. I'm looking at 1,500,
Yes.
for left or 2,000. But what you have to see is that, you know, I mean, because we don't have a district-wide distribution over here, I am seeing that the Congress getting back its Gram Panchayats back in Malda, in Murshidabad, in Uttar Dinajpur. I have no idea.
We will discuss that. Okay.
So in spite of this, in spite of the total domination that has been exercised by both administration and the ruling party, Trinamool now knows, post this election, that it is no longer the only dominant force in the politics of Bengal.
Okay, that we'll wait and see what happens in 2024. For now, these images over the last few days have been deeply troubling. This is not what democracy is clearly meant for. Shubir, I know you've been waiting. I'll give you also 30 seconds on the simple question. Would President's rule help? Would it have helped to have, in some way, central forces right across Bengal from day one? I just have 30 seconds.
No, I don't believe it can make a difference. In Bengal, it's political and force is used to supplement the... Ajit Paja told me this thing. Unless agents or more of your party in a booth, that booth.
Okay.
So it is generation, and if the opposition parties think that central forces will bail them out, you know, they are... You
Okay.
need to have...
I'm completely...
You're without that, nobody...
Okay, as I said, these are extremely troubling images. Contentious issues, different states have a different political culture. It's one at the moment of violence. You could go to a big role, you go to Bihar, it's caste, it's cash and carry. Think about it. Is democratic culture that we really want? Bengal. Thank you all very much for joining me on our talking point and for reducing the crosstalk today.